Hello everyone, today we are going to be looking at two different kinds of verb expressions. So we are going to look at the verb expression infinitives and the verb expression of gerunds. And specifically we're going to be looking at when do we use the infinitive and when do we use the gerund. So first we are going to be looking at two different sentences. One is the correct form and one is the incorrect form. So I will read both sentences, and then the next slide will tell us which one is the correct answer, and then we'll explain why that's the correct answer. So first, we have sentence A that says, read books is not difficult. Sentence B says, reading books is not difficult. So next we'll look at which one of these sentences is the correct way to say that. Again, sentence A, read books is not difficult. Sentence B, reading books is not difficult. Let's see, the correct answer is sentence B, reading books is not difficult. So here, our verb form of reading is the subject of our sentence. The subject of our sentence. And when the verb form is the subject, then it's always going to be the gerund verb expression, which means it ends in that ing. So reading is the subject of our sentence. Reading books is not difficult. And since it is the subject, it takes the gerund form, adding that ing at the end. So the correct way to say this sentence is reading books is not difficult. Our next sentence is, sentence A says, I want to eat tacos. Sentence B says, I want eating tacos. And let's see, the correct sentence here is sentence A, I want to eat tacos. Now, unfortunately, this is just a grammar rule that has to be memorized. So when you see the verb want, I'll circle it here. When you see this verb want, the infinitive form is always going to follow. So if there's a verb after the verb want, it's always going to take the infinitive form. So here you just have to memorize. When you see want, it's going to have the infinitive afterwards. So I want, and then the infinitive form to eat follows tacos. So again, when you see that verb want, just know that the infinitive is always going to follow. I want to eat tacos. All right, next we have sentence A, thank you for helping my family. Sentence B, thank you for help my family. Again, one more time, sentence A, thank you for helping my family. Sentence B, thank you for help my family. Now, let's see, the correct answer would be sentence A, thank you for helping my family. In these sentences, it's important to look at whether or not there is a preposition in our sentence. Here we see the preposition for. Now, when the object of our preposition is an action, it will always be in the gerund form. So we have our preposition for, and then our object of the preposition is helping. So the verb or the object is going to take the gerund form. So one more time, our preposition is for, and the object of our preposition is helping, which will be in the gerund form. Thank you for helping my family. So when you see a preposition and a verb follows, it's going to be a gerund. All right, so next, sentence A, my dad wants to wash the cars. Sentence B, my dad wants washing the cars. Now here, pay close attention to the verb that you see in the sentence. The correct way to say this sentence is sentence A, my dad wants to wash the car. And again, we've seen this rule before. The verb want, or in this sentence, wants, is always followed by the infinitive. So we see wants, and then we see the infinitive, to wash, follows wants. So one more time, we've seen this rule before. when you see the verb wants, the infinitive form is always going to follow. My dad wants to wash the cars. Perfect. All right, so these next 4 sentences are going to be multiple choice. So we'll read the sentence and then we'll look at the options, and then the next slide will tell us what the correct answer is, and we'll explain why that's the correct answer. So this sentence says, I want blank at the park. I want blank at the park. Our options are A, playing, B, to play, C, played, or D, had played. I want blank at the park. The correct way to say this sentence is, I want to play at the park. So it is the infinitive form of play. To play is the infinitive. I want to play at the park. And one more time, we've seen this rule before. The verb that you have to pay attention to here is want. When we see that verb want, we know that the infinitive is always going to follow. Want to play. I want to play at the park. All right, our next sentence. Blank Spanish gets easier with practice. Blank Spanish gets easier with practice. Our options are A, spoken, B, speak, C, spoke, and D, speaking. Blank Spanish gets easier with practice. The correct way to say this sentence is, speaking Spanish gets easier with practice. So we have the gerund form of speak. That means we have the ing at the end, speaking. Now in this sentence, we have not seen this rule yet. In this sentence, speaking is our subject or the noun of our sentence. And when the verb form is the noun of the sentence, it is always going to be in the gerund form. So one more time. When your verb form is the subject of your sentence, it will always be the gerund form. And since speaking is our subject, it's going to be in that gerund form with the ing at the end. Speaking Spanish gets easier with practice. All right, next sentence. Can you blank my mom wash the produce? Can you blank my mom wash the produce? Our options are A, help, B, to help, C, helping, D, helped. Can you blank my mom wash the produce? Now this is a new rule again. So the correct way to say this sentence is, can you help my mom wash the produce? And you'll see that help just stands all by itself. So help is what we call a causative verb. There are 4 causative verbs. They're help, make, let, and have. They're all causative verbs. These verbs are different because they're always followed by a noun or a pronoun and then the base form of another verb. So one more time. Causative verbs are help, make, let, and have. And causative verbs are always followed by a noun or a pronoun and then the base form of another verb. So let's look at that pattern in this sentence here. We have our causative verb, which stands by itself, help. And then we have our noun, or sometimes a pronoun, mom. And then we have the base form of another verb, wash. Standing all by itself, the base form is wash. So when you see this pattern of a noun or a pronoun with the base form of another verb in front, you know that there will be a causative verb. So it could be help, make, let, or have. In this case, it is help. Can you help my mom wash the produce? All right, we have one more sentence to look at. I promise blank the party. I promise blank the party. Our options are A, plan, B, planning, C, to plan, D, planned. So one more time, I promise blank the party. The correct way to say this sentence is, I promise to plan the party. So here plan takes the infinitive form, to plan. I promise to plan the party. Now, similar to our verb want, Promise is another verb where the infinitive form is always going to follow. So in any sentence where you see the verb promise, the infinitive is always going to follow. So I promise to plan. Promise is just another one of those verbs that has to be memorized where the infinitive form will come after.